we don't talk about Cannibal because that one's oh boy. But that one as well as gosh, I just watched it the other night and my brain's forgetting it. Um, I was texting you about it while I was watching it.
We what did we watch just recently? Also, I just realized I wasn't totally live, so welcome
Oh no.
back Beyond the Grave Media. Josh here. This is the first episode of the GoreCast. That's totally par for the course.
Yeah.
This is my buddy Fernie.
Hey there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to have the introductions that we did before when it all uploads, but
Yeah.
anyway.
I guess a quick, short of the long of it.
Yeah, hit
Bernie.
him.
Yeah, Bernie, Fernando, cinephile, love movies. Originally from California. Went to film school. Love movies. Love yapping about movies. Horror movies, and sci-fi horror are kind of my jam. And Stephen King.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, right. So what we
Yeah,
thought we would
right.
do is just kind of whet everybody's appetites with some Stephen King on physical media. Because we're like, what should we talk about? We want to talk about the effed up movies we've been watching, but what are you gonna do? So
Yeah.
um anyway, man. So you said you went and seen something in the theaters today? What'd you go watch?
I went to Smile 2.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty decent movie. If you like the first one, it's about on par with that one. I feel like it was a slightly better movie. Different angle how they come at it. The first one kind of felt like a psychiatrist rationalizing like a demon entity kind of thing, while this one was more like a pop star with this demon attached to her with like millions of people constantly watching her and all this stuff. So it was a different take on it, but kind of the same story, but also pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
How does the jump scare diet fare compared to the first Smile?
Oh man, it's still about on par with the jump scares. About the same. It relied pretty heavily on the jump scares. I'm not gonna lie for the frights, but there were some gory aspects, a little bit more than the first one anyway. Not too much, but just a wee bit.
It looked like it was going to be super polished, kind of super cheesy, super kind of like meta or something. I mean, from the trailer, I've been trying not to watch trailers, but they keep showing at the beginning of every goddamn movie.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it was like super meta, but at the same time, it was kind of a self-aware movie. Once it hits a certain point, you kind of have that one character who's just like knows all about it and tells the main character. Obviously, the first one had it as well, and you just go down that rabbit hole, and it's like, okay, but I don't know. Yeah, definitely a bunch of like, oh, I'm talking to somebody, or maybe something's there, and then all of a sudden they turn, and there's like a face right there, smiling at them. So it's like that's the jump scare. It's just more like surprised, loud noise from the music, and then creepy face right next to the main character.
Gotcha. Yeah. My wife, she hadn't seen it. We watched it tonight, and a couple of times she was like, so this is scarier than you said it's going to be. I was like, I forgot there's some solid scares here and there.
Yeah.
But it's very harmful, so that can put people off a little bit too.
Yeah. Second one's pretty much the same way. Yeah, that aspect is very much there.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk her into Terrifier 3, and she was like, what about Smile 2? So I'm like, well, you better watch the first one this weekend first, and then we'll see it. So anyway, dude,
moving right along.
Let's talk some Stephen King. I'm gonna go first because I got a whole pile here. I think I'm gonna choose one that you don't have in front of you on physical media. This is a Best Buy exclusive. I think this came out last year before. Unfortunately, they stopped all their physical media. This is The Mist.
Ooh.
This is the kind of Meat Locker edition. I love that Lionsgate slip that they put on there. You want the digital code? I'm just kidding. I already used it. So you got the meat there on sale. You probably already know. Yeah, it's cool that you can get the unrated in black and white, or you can get it like in color. So pretty fun. I think it's got shit, dude. There's 4 Blu-rays, so That's a ton of cuts.
Yeah, I
3
was gonna
cuts
say
of the movie.
I don't think I've seen that
Yeah.
Blu-ray before.
It's pretty heavy. This is one of those really thick slips.
Yeah.
Kind of self-embossed. Pretty fun. But it's one, once you know the twist, it's hard, like a lot of Stephen King, he doesn't always nail the ending, but I think that the ending actually works pretty well.
Yeah.
It's pretty bleak. So props to Frank Darabont.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely a down ending, yeah.
100%.
But solid story getting there, yeah.
Sweet. Well, what do you got? What's your first pick on your Stephen King
Where
media list?
to even start? Well, I'll go with one that I like. I read the book, then I watched the movie because some of these I kind of was late to the game on. I mean, by late, I mean like late, maybe like 10 years ago late.
Okay.
I wasn't raised on them by any means, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start going down the rabbit hole, read some Stephen King books. So I read The Dead Zone, and then I watched The Dead Zone, and I have it.
Look at
on
that VHS.
VHS. Yeah, so I got like a glare on it. And of course, the tragic story of was it Johnny Smith? Yeah. And it's a bummer. It's kind of just a spiral for this character. You kind of feel bad for him, especially after reading the book and his struggles and knowing what he goes through and all that stuff. In the book or in the movie, it's obviously there, but kind of feels like it goes quick. But you definitely delve into it a little bit more in the book. And then, of course, Christopher Walken, classic, just
100%.
iconic. Martin Sheen as well.
Worst politician ever.
Yeah, well, very relatable politician for these times. Not going to go into that, but
absolutely.
But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's my first one. Is The Dead Zone. Awesome book.
The Dead Zone always reminds me of TNT and Joe Bob Riggs because it would always be on. And I always got it confused with the dark half before I read the book, and then I was like, oh, this is way different. This is the Scream Factory 4K.
Ooh, nice.
It looks real damn good. I don't think it has. I don't know. I watched it with just the mono track, and the audio was super good. I wish that they gave us reversible flip art, but Scream Factory for you. Yeah, I love The Dead Zone. David Cronenberg, one of the best, dude. That story is so tragic, man. Love of his life ruined.
You're right. Exactly.
We've all been there.
Right. Yeah. Right. And for me also, I mean, I really like to. I don't know if you read, let's say like The Dark Tower and expand on Stephen King lore. Technically, what Johnny Smith gets is like a variation of The Shining. His mental abilities. So I like how that all kind of connects to Stephen King world and his alternate realities that he's built. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
I go down.
It's definitely a trope with our buddy Steven.
Yes.
All right. There's going to be some heavy hitters in here, so I'm trying to stay away from those. I have like 20, 25 movies. Some of them are the same. We got the same movies because Stephen King fucking rules.
Quite.
Let's go something that's pretty trendy right now. We're talking about Tobe Hooper's 1979. My favorite version of Nosferatu, Salem's Lot.
Ooh,
Dude,
nice.
This was one of the second or third tapes I ever bought from a Kmart when I moved across the state. I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade. Bought this thing and I didn't realize it was like 3 hours long, 3 hours and 3 minutes. And it doesn't feel like it unless you have it on tape and you have to manually switch the tapes and you're like, oh, this shit's getting long. But David Saul, the best, the vampire effects, the kid in the window. Can we just shit on that new version from Warner Brothers that just came out on Max? I hated that movie.
I haven't seen it yet, mostly because you said you didn't like it, and now I'm like holding it back. I'm watching it. But yeah, the original one is a classic. I haven't seen it in quite a while, but it's definitely always worth a rewatch.
Yeah, I love this film. Everything about it. Yeah, dude. I got the book in there. ton of Stephen King books on the floor just because I thought we might need them, but
Oh
that's in the
man, yeah.
closet. Yeah, Salem's Lot. Return to Salem's Lot, not so much, but this Toby Hooper, fresh off Texas Chainsaw a few years earlier, that is an incredible made-for-TV, scary PG movie. All right, I give you the floor, brother.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump cut to 2003. This was at the time. I've seen a few Stephen King movies, but this was the first one I saw in theaters. And you know what? I know it's not the best movie, nor is it the best book, but it holds a little place in my heart, especially with some of the characters and pretty much an all-star cast in this. You know, Thomas Jane, Timothy Olyphant, freaking Morgan Freeman.
Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah. With Jason Lee as well, and it's Dreamcatcher. I did it, you know, at the very end. I did it. Love it. It's cheesy. It's kind of silly. I enjoy it. You know, Alien.
Did that send you down the sci-fi horror kind of? Was that one of the films that helped with that?
No. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I was already there at that point. It was more like Alien and Aliens, Predator. A little bit of RoboCop, The Thing, yeah, those movies kind of got me there years before. Some of those I had on VHS beforehand, so I saw them like in middle school. But yeah, but this is, you know, it helped. This one definitely helped, especially because it has a bit of an Alien vibes. I know the aliens in this are called the Ripleys, or the shit weasels, as you will, when they come out of your ass. But yeah. It's a fun movie. I like it. It's been a while. I gotta actually rewatch it sometime soon. But yeah,
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I first watched that. Yeah, let me hop over here. So, God, when did I think I watched that like at a party. Yeah, right when it came out. And I wasn't ready for it. I knew Jason Lee from Mallrats, and Timothy Olyphant was awesome. Is he in Deadwood? He's awesome and everything. But
yeah,
Morgan Freeman, obviously. It's just like, it's totally Stephen King, where there's like this group of friends and they're bonding and there's beers and problems happen. It's totally Stand By Me with, like, you know, dudes in their 30s going through a bunch of shit. And
yeah,
the alien thing just caught me off guard. I grew to really like it. At first, I was like, I don't know about this movie. I was kind of like down on it, but I mean, I have it now, and I love that movie. But it took a few tries, and it's like, oh, the pace is just a little, you know, a little different. But it's fun.
You get a little mixture of everything in this movie. You get like also the group of friends, yes, but they all have psychic powers as well, and it's weird variations of psychic powers. All from Duddits, and I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of wild while at the same time it works.
There's a little Losers Club to them, you know. It's fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's true.
All right. Moving along. Let's go with one of the best films. Is this 1976? Brian De Palma. We were talking Carrie.
Nice.
Sissy Spacek. John Travolta. I got another version here. I got like 4 copies of Carrie. This is the Scream Factory Steelbook. You probably got it over there too. Just watched this the other day. This 4K still looks and sounds so damn good. It's criminal. Carrie, my son's like, why are we watching Crazy Carrie again? Until the mom comes in and he's like, oh yeah, this is a scary movie. And I was like, yeah, like, and then of course the prom scene. But I love Carrie so much, man. I think next to Scarface, like, that is De Palma's film.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I actually watched that with my roommate, I believe, at the end of September, just before October. And oh man, we're right when it gets to that prom night scene. It's one of those moments where it's just like, good for her, you know, getting her revenge.
That soundtrack when they're like raising up the bucket of pig's blood, that takes so long in real time. It's probably
Yeah.
10 seconds of the movie, but it's like 4 minutes of just tension, man.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I can never turn it off until she like reaches her hand out of the grave. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, it's only like almost 50 years old. But
Right.
man, so good, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, it still holds up too. I mean, I'm still scared of it. Like the mom and just her mindset, and it's just like people are really like that, and that's scary within itself. You know?
Yeah, dude, I know people like that. We both know people like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man, what you got?
What do I got? Well, you know what?
Don't you do it.
What?
Don't you do it. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I was like, I'm about to do it. I got to talk about it because it is probably, it varies depending on, time of year, all that fun stuff. But if my favorite movie, if not my second favorite movie of all time, next to Jaws, just, again, another Morgan Freeman movie, Tim Robbins, Shawshank Redemption. Or if, yeah, exactly. Or if you read the book, Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption. So good. Just, I remember the first time I saw it. I didn't see it in theaters, unfortunately, but the first time I saw it, I did not think I was going to like it. Didn't know what I was getting myself into. Just like, oh, what a prison movie, whatever.
Please. Boring.
Yeah, whatever.
What can happen?
2.5 hours later, or however long this movie is, I was just like,
Clancy Brown, please.
jaw on the floor, on the verge of tears, watching freaking Red walk up to Andy Dufresne on the beaches of Mexico. I was just like, oh God, they made it. They're together. Yes. Like, oh man, I just, even right now thinking about it, I'm getting a little choked up. It's just hands down fantastic story across the board. Frank Darabont adapted it brilliantly. Expanded on some stuff, changed a little bit here and there from the short story, but either way, it's a solid pick, or a solid movie across the board. Just no doubt. Love it.
Shawshank is so important to me too. It's probably in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. But Fernie knows my little brother, and his current girlfriend now, I grew up with her, and there was this long period where like my band would practice at her house, and they had this giant dungeon and this huge TV, and they had a lot of Christian films back in the day. So we could watch like Gladiator, The Warrior, and they had The Shawshank Redemption. And I was always like, I don't want to watch. That sounds horrible. I don't want to see that. And because it just sounded so boring. And then they put it on and everybody was silent. Like that movie scarred me. It was so good, man. I watch it every other month. I love that movie so damn much, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I watch it like twice a year. It just need to see it. Yeah, it's for sure.
My wife and I, we do like, and my brother does too. We call it like feature film Sundays, where if we don't know what to watch, we need to go to bed or end our, start our work week on the great movie. 9 times out of 10, a couple times every other month, we put on Shawshank, Green Mile. It's always the best time.
Yeah.
You can just fall asleep to it. It's so comfortable, man. I love that damn movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Soundtrack's great too.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. That was a heavy pick. Let's lighten things up a little bit. Lighten things up just a little bit. We are talking about a film that Tom Holland, famous for writing Psycho 2, obviously got a shot with Fright Night, one of his best films. Went on to write Child's Play and help on all of that. But I think one of his last movies he's made, Thinner, is damn good. I know that people hated it for a while. I think people are starting to come around on this movie though. Like this is the new Scream Factory. I love this movie so much because it feels like you're watching a dream when I watch that movie. Like all the stuff that happens, you're like, oh, that didn't actually happen. You're like, oh no, that's actually happening. So great effects. I love like the dude obviously losing a ton of weight, having a hard time, the wife kind of getting what she deserves. Curses, great gore.
Yeah.
Brutal movie at the end. There's a great commentary. I love Thinner, so throwing it on there.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it, but God, I'm trying to remember when I saw it. I know I was at my grandma's house when I saw it, but I don't remember who I was with. Probably cousins or something. Do remember enjoying it quite a bit. But that was probably like the last time I saw it was like when it first came on to home video.
Yeah, it's 96. I remember this was the first time I seen that Republic logo on the VCR, and I was like, Republic, that's kind of a cool looking logo. And then the movie went on to just, I don't know, I just thought it was cool. It's very cheesy, but I kind of like that about it. So
Yeah, bit of cheese for sure.
Yeah, cheese it up.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Is it my turn to cheese it up?
You cheese it up, dude. What do you got?
All right, let's see here. What
We got time.
Yeah, we got time here. I will bring out. Gotta do it. I gotta give some props to one of the masters of horror, John Carpenter, for Christine.
Yeah.
Christine was one of the ones I came to late in the game. Again, probably about like 10 years ago or so. That's how late it was. But gosh, I think what sold me best, I mean, the movie already sold me, but the thing that got me just like, I think I love this movie was when the main character, I forget his name, goes up to his destroyed car and says, "Show me," and then it just starts rebuilding itself. It's like, whoa. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, baby. Just a classic scene right there. And just, you know, kind of his descent, I don't want to say into madness, but, you know, from being zero to being the bully and just murdering people, essentially, you know, or through the car, I guess, but becoming that person who just everybody hates. He's bullying everybody and becoming the thing he hated the most. Of course, that's always kind of a trope with King. It's kind of like those arcs where you're a shitty character and you either become better, or you are a decent character and you become shitty, you know. And he does it brilliantly. You just see the descent, and it always, I love it. I just love the way he writes it, love the way it plays out. Christine's a classic. Love it. John Carpenter.
Dude, Christine, so damn good. Yes. It was on my list too. Great little book. It's a quick sit, man. It's probably, I don't know, a couple hundred pages. But Carpenter with the music in that movie is so good, dude. Yeah. The effects, Arnie losing his mind. That dude, when he first comes and picks it up, he's like, "You don't know what you're talking about, shitter." He's freaky, man. I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy Rapperton, like the horrible bully that gets his too, as the car just takes off down the alleyway, killing everybody in sight. Incredible, man.
Yeah. Love it.
Christine is killer. 100%. And it's, yeah. All right. Let's move. What do we got?
Yeah. Next.
Another heavy alert. I think it's a heavy. This is my little story with this movie. Growing up, every New Year's Eve, my parents, you know, they would never drink in front of me or anything, but they would always put this movie on. I didn't understand why. They would pour like Martinelli's and have popcorn, and we would watch this movie with Kathy Bates, a Rob Reiner film from, what was this, 1990, 91? Misery. I've seen this movie so many times on New Year's Eve, and I've made it a tradition with my family too. My wife loves this movie. Unbelievable. Annie Wilkes. Kathy Bates is a great actress because she kind of has to be. Like, she crushes that role. What's your thoughts on Misery?
Oh, Misery's great. I also have it on VHS.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Of course, James Caan, Kathy Bates is just their chemistry, all of it. It's amazing. The tension, you know, it just, whew, every time I watch that, I'm just kind of like always, well, you know, I'm kind of slouching my couch and I'm relaxed, but feeling inside of me, I am like on the edge of my seat. You know what I mean? Even though
you don't, you can see her losing her mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is, it's just tension filled. Kathy Bates just brings it A game across the board. Yeah, love it.
Two actors at the top of their game. I mean, and then the setting when they're out there in the snow, there is nowhere for him to go. It's just, it looks so desolate. That, I mean, I love the house. I love exploring that house. I love that book. I read that on the train one time. It took me about 3 hours. I was just, it's crazy what they do in the actual book where they, you know, saw
Yeah.
poor Paul Sheldon's leg off, but
That's
love
one of the
that
ones
movie, dude.
I've been meaning to read. It's one of the ones I haven't read yet, but it's definitely on. I mean, they're all on the list. Any Stephen King books on my list to read. So
Yeah, that 4K from Kino, I just put it on. I was like, we were watching this. If you got anything else to watch, put on Misery, dude. It'll change your life.
nice.
All right, man, what you got?
Well, I got a few. Always got a few. I'm trying to figure out where to start. I guess. All right, before I go to a personal one, I'm going to kind of a heavy hitter. TV movie.
Ooh,
2 tapes.
how long is it?
Yeah.
2 tapes?
2 tapes.
SLP?
Yeah.
He's gonna do it. Crazy son of a bitch is doing it.
I'm gonna do it. Oh, well, which one am I gonna do? It's definitely The Stand.
Ooh.
The Stand is such an epic tale. I love it. Read the book. Freaking, I'm not the fastest reader, so it took me like a month to read that because I have the unedited version of the book. Whew, yes, love it. Always. Randall Flagg, one of my favorite Stephen King villains. Just
So good, dude.
yeah, he brings it. I don't even know what to say. It's I would say at least this is a very faithful adaptation of the book.
It's pretty good.
Minus I guess the gory or more hardcore aspects, which they tried to do in the remake, which was
Not for
that
TV.
good. Yeah, it wasn't that good though. I don't know if you saw the newer.
Did you watch the miniseries?
Yeah,
Paramount Plus?
Like yeah, I tried to like
I
it.
kind of liked it.
You
I kind of did.
Whoa.
Kind of.
I prefer this one way. way
I do too. Well, Rutger Hauer, man. Rutger Hauer
Oh yeah.
kills it, dude.
Then you got Gary
Is it
Sinise.
Molly Ringwald in here?
Yeah.
Gary Sinise. Pre-Forrest
Yeah.
Gump.
What's his face? Why am I blanking on his name? He's in Parks and Rec. I gotta look.
Oh, what's his name? Yeah, Mick Garris, right? He'd done a bunch of Stephen King
Oh yeah,
adaptations.
Nick
but
Garris. Yes.
adaptations.
Either way,
Awesome.
awesome.
The
movie.
Stand.
I love it.
Better
I
book.
Yeah,
Still really good.
book's great. I used to watch this on sick days and just like I'm sick, throw on The Stand. It's a 4-hour movie. I want, you know what I mean? Just lay there and
Dude, you got to do what you got to do.
yeah.
That's a great way to get through a sick day. The Stand,
Yeah.
366 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah.
PG.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you watch
Yeah.
it when it came out on broadcast? So for people that don't know, me and Fernie are like the same age. So we have a lot of the same kind of core things that happen in the world. So did you watch
Yeah.
it when it came out live?
Yeah, I did. That
Nice.
one, I think I was too young to watch it. Sorry, spoilers. But
We're going to talk
yeah.
about that.
yeah, we'll circle around to that one. But I was able to watch The Stand, or at least my folks let me watch it. Yeah, loved it. Again, just imprinted it into my brain.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rutger Hauer, man. The Stand, great pick. I'm going with one that, well, I'm going to save that one because we talked about how you might not have this. We're going to go to the novella Stephen King, Cycle of the Werewolf. This movie from 1985, it took me a little bit to really like this movie because of the werewolf effects. Stephen King's Silver Bullet, 4K Screen Factory. This is pulpy Stephen King at its best, though, right? I mean, this is why you watch Stephen King. You've got the Silver Bullet wheelchair. You've got the dude with the family dynamics. You got the drunk uncle. Man. And then you got dude from the People Under the Stairs. That's the priest.
Oh, yeah.
Damn good at, I think this is really fun. It's creeped up into my top 5 werewolf movies, but it took me a while because I didn't like the end transformation. But when they're in that church and the chick is playing the organ all crazy, like pulling her nightgown off, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Incredible.
That movie was probably one of the first Stephen King movies I've probably ever seen. Mostly because my dad is a big fan of werewolves. So
Okay.
he loves the Wolfman. American Werewolf in London was another one that I saw early because he loved werewolves. So, and that one,
Right.
again, he kind of just was like, this movie's so good. It's kind of the same thing until the ending, until you actually see the wolf. But don't worry about what it looks like, and I was like, okay. As a kid, I didn't.
So you had a heads up.
Yeah. But
Oh,
at the
that's
same
awesome.
time, I didn't really understand it until you get a little older, and then you start really watching, like, say, An American Werewolf in London, and see that werewolf transformation scene. You're like, oh yeah, that's how it's done.
Or even The Howling, just four
Oh,
years
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick Baker, Rob Bottin, they did not work on Silver Bullet.
Right. Yeah.
But the family dynamic, I think there's a lot of fun in there. There's a lot of like fake out dream sequences that it puts it over. I think this is,
Yeah.
it looks great. That Scream that was a Freudian. Scream Factory 4K, incredible.
Yeah.
What you got, Fernie?
Well, all right. Now I'm going for a personal one. Mostly because this movie, I'm trying to remember what year it actually came out, was probably in my life before I was even born. 1982 is when it came out. So I'm sure the VHS was probably, again, in my life before I was born in 85. My uncle was a huge horror fan, and he died when I was very young, probably like 5 or so. And he left all of his VHS and Laserdisc movies to me. And I didn't know what I had until I was in 8th grade. And my dad kind of just was like, all right, you can start watching some of these horror movies. And then he told me where they came from. And my brain just kind of exploded because I didn't realize my uncle loved horror movies. But the movie I'm talking about is Creepshow.
Oh, man.
And
sorry about your uncle. That's a great story, man.
Yeah. This movie was one of the first ones I watched. The original Halloween and The Evil Dead, all on VHS. In 8th grade, I was just like pumping them in. My brain.
What a lineup, dude.
Yeah, expanded on
The Evil Dead.
Yeah, horror movie lore. Because at that point, again, I was mostly watching kind of like sci-fi stuff, sci-fi horror.
Right.
But yeah, so once I got into Creepshow, I was like, zombies, you get it all in this, weird ghouls underneath in a box underneath the stairs. Yeah. And
okay.
I remember some of the visual effects was tripping me out when I saw it in 8th grade. I was just kind of like, how the heck did they pull that off? It's part of the reason why I got into film, is watching horror movies.
Oh, nice, dude.
Trying to wrap my brain around, how they did the visual effects.
Uncle Tom Savini, right?
Oh, yeah.
He did all the effects? Yeah.
I believe so, yeah. Definitely.
Awesome Creepshow story. I've got it here on VHS too. My VHS is not even as close to as cool. I have it tattooed right here. I'm going to do a Creepshow, another from part 2. Creepshow changed my horror life when I watched that, man. The first time I think I seen Stephen King like do anything acting wise, I think I watched that in like 5th grade, and it was so impressive. Like all the stories, it just kind of keeps going. This character arc, awesome effects, the comic stuff. I got a Creepshow pillow in there. I got blankets, water bottles at work. I'm so obsessed with Creepshow. So glad your story's awesome, dude.
Heck yeah.
So cool. We're big Creepshow fans. Super cool. Well, since we're right here, I'm going to go ahead and take my turn. We're going to talk about Creepshow 2.
That's what's up.
I think this isn't the better cover, but that cover used to freak me out at American Video when I would walk through the halls, man. This is a nice little 3-piece anthology with a cool little wraparound story where you get Tom Savini playing the creep, which is cool. I think it's got better comic work because you actually get kind of like live motion comic or whatever. Does that sound right? Animation?
Yeah.
I don't know. But the raft changed my life, dude. That was every kid's high school. Like we watched that thing constantly. Then the hitchhiker at the end. The raft, man. One of the best videos I have on my channel is me talking about the raft. So I can talk about the raft for hours, dude. The best little short, I think, of all time. It's right up there. Creepshow 2. This is the Arrow video. Looks great. Awesome soundtrack. Great. I love the wraparound story. What do you think about Creepshow 2?
The I thoughts, my brain. The raft. I probably saw the raft without understanding that it was part of Creepshow 2, the anthology movies, when I was younger. And then I think it was when I first watched the whole movie all the way through for the first time. Gosh, well, I don't even remember, but I know it was after high school. When I kind of just my brain exploded when I was like, "This is where that's from," because I remember seeing it but not knowing where
There's
it
a
came
second
from.
one.
Yeah, well, especially the whole bit with the raft and then like sucking them through the cracks of the wood, and I was just like, "What?" So yeah, and then
Dude.
is the hitchhiker the one with the statue? Is that the one with the hitchhiker?
That's old Chief Woodenhead.
Oh,
Old
okay,
Chief Woodenhead.
that's the other one I remember quite a bit from that as well.
Yeah, the hitchhiker's like, thanks for the ride, lady. And she keeps murdering him further and further and further.
Whoa, yeah, I
It's
don't
one of
remember
those
that one.
kind of, oh, yeah. Yeah, Creepshow 2. We're not going to talk about Creepshow 3 because that is just, it should not even be in the same canon as that. But Creepshow 1 and 2, God tier. God tier.
It's true.
All right, man, you're up.
Oh. All right, I got three, I guess four more left on my end, but I'll go with another one that I've read, and of course, that's another long one. Took me about a month to read as well, and I remember when this first came out on VHS, it was 2 tapes, but this one is one. It, narrowed it down to one tape, but it's Stephen King's It. Love this. I remember watching it growing
I'm going
up.
to give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes on it.
Right, yeah. Read the book. I mean, I'm trying to see. Got Losers Club or Loser Lover.
Nice.
I know that's from the newer movie, but I mean, the sentiment's the same.
It's in the book.
I mean, yeah. It's freaking, I can't even talk about how much the whole notion, that movie and this one and The Stand, or not The Stand, excuse me, Stand By Me. The whole notion of like a group of kids just coming together, one obviously going finding a body, this one dealing with a monster, but like for me growing up, it was like the epitome of like, I need a group of friends like that. I need a core solid group that I could rely on, kind of thing, you know what I mean? And obviously it just wished I was a part of the Losers Club like so much. Don't wish I was attacked by a killer clown. Obviously that never happens, but
you had a thing for Beverly, didn't you?
yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so no, it's all good. Oh yeah, well she's a redhead, of course.
There you go.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No. Yeah, it's fine. But then the book I read a couple years back, actually not too long ago, maybe like 5 years ago or so, when I finally read the book, and the lore, the expansion, freaking giant pterodactyl bird thing, and that's like flying over the ironworks, and then you get the
black
kinda,
spot.
Yeah, that oh god, that whole side story tripped me out, bummed me out a lot. Just everybody burning in there. Of course, you get the little cameo of that kid who's getting eaten by the creature from the Black Lagoon, and he's like, as he's dying.
Oh, that one's awesome.
Yeah, he's trying to feel for the zipper in the back, and he's just like dying. And it's like, this is real, and it's like, oh my god, yeah.
Patrick Hocksetter's death, like that is crazy.
Patrick Hockstetter.
With the fridge.
Yeah, his whole character's not even in this one, but
no.
Yeah, when you read his character, it's just like, man, he's a little more twisted than Henry Bowers. You know what I mean? It's like
he's the real boy.
Yeah, exactly. But then of course, yeah, Henry Bowers. Speaking of Henry Bowers, just the epitome of bully, teenage evil. Like, you know what I mean? You just really hate Henry Bowers across the board.
He's a 1-star Yelp review. 1 star on Yelp. 100%.
But yeah, I mean, gotta admit, my favorite, at least with this one, was probably Richie, Seth Green, my favorite loser.
Oh.
But in the newer one, it became Eddie. He was,
Spaghetti.
I don't know. Yeah, Eddie Spaghetti's. Don't call him that, by the way. But
you don't like that.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. But yeah, he became my favorite, at least in the newer ones. But in the original one, it was Seth Green. It was Richie. Thought he was hilarious. Yeah. Anyway,
Beep beep,
I'll
Richie. Yeah,
beep.
he was
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh my God. I'll pass it to you. I don't even know what I can keep going. I can keep talking. No, so I'll shut up.
I have a good 5 minutes on it. We both care about this movie a lot. So I have an emotional take, and then I have like the real take. So I'm probably not going to hit the emotional one too much because it makes me really sad. But I used to go to my grandma Joni's house, and it was like on Sundays. I think that's when it premiered. I remember it like I had to go and like, get pizza ready for the family, and then we weren't supposed to stay up to watch it. It was a 2-week event, or maybe it's a 2-night. I forget. I was so young, but it came on, and they let me like sit between the couch for the first night. Scared me half to death, man. And then when I finally got the book, I think I was in like 4th or 5th grade, and that is way too heavy of a book for a kid that age. But it changed my life, man. And I ended up losing it to an ex-girlfriend. And then, I used to have the double tape too, but it's just easier to pack around this SLP one. That's nerd for the 2 tape is SP, right? Slow play. Super long plays the double or the single tape. And so then anyway, I read the book, and I used to rent this movie constantly, like once a month from the little video store by my house. Eventually I just bought it from them because they were going out of business. So then, when I realized that the new movies are going to come out, my wife had my son 7 years ago, and I was like, I'm going to reread it. Like I need like something. I don't know why. I was just like another coming of age moment in my life. I would think I was like 33 or 34. And so I bought the book, and I read it in like probably about a month when my son would be sleeping. Like in the middle of the night, I would read it on the night shift with my kid. And so then, I love it so much. Like I love everything about it. My best friend, his mom had passed away, and so that book was really important to him. And so when he had his first kid, I passed that book on to him for him to read. Hopefully it would have the same effect, and it did. It's a really sad story, but it means a lot to me. I have so many versions of it. I love it so damn much. So much, dude.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Tattooed in my brain.
Yeah.
It's always Tim Curry. He is Pennywise.
That's what I was gonna say. We didn't even talk about Tim Curry. It was like,
dude,
how could we not talk about Tim Curry? I mean, I guess at this point, it's everybody knows. Yeah, if you don't know, you should know that Tim Curry's it's literally Pennywise. Sorry.
He's it.
Anyway. Yeah, he is it. Yeah.
And props to, the new fella, Skarsgård. He does a great job.
Yeah.
But when I think of it, like I see Tim Curry, there's so many cool stories about like he didn't need a bunch of prosthetics and makeup. He was like, just put me in front of the camera. I'll scare these kids. Like, and he does. Crushes it, dude. Have you seen that documentary that came out? I think it was like Screambox or something. Came out a couple years ago.
Maybe.
Super good. Yeah. It's kind of like look it up really quick.
Is it just like a documentary about it, the TV one?
Yeah, it's just
right.
Pennywise, the story of it.
Yeah.
You probably watched it. It came out a couple years
ago. Yeah, I think I did.
And they get into the spider and the effects and stuff and how it wasn't supposed to work, but that was the best they could get. So they put all this money into that spider. They might as well use it.
And wasn't it like a lot of their budget went into the kids aspect, and then it was all of a sudden like, oh no, now we got to make the second one, and we don't have the budget to do what we want to do, so they rushed everything.
It all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some scenes there where in Beverly's house, like that dad of hers, like there are some freaky scenes for kids being PG, man.
Oh yeah. Beverly's dad is.
I guess it's not rated, but
yeah,
that's my it right there. Love it. Love it.
Love it. Yeah.
It's my turn. I feel like I talked forever.
We both talked about it. I brought up it. I think it's your turn. Yeah.
Is it? All right. Well, I feel like you've taken some of the great ones. I got to.
Yeah, you got to step up. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
I'm slim pickings over here.
There's no way Stephen King is listening, and I know he hates this adaptation of his movie. I think this is the greatest Stanley Kubrick movie of all time. I think this is in the conversation for the greatest horror movie of all time, if we're not talking about The Exorcist. 1980s The Shining.
Nice.
I mean, who am I to even talk about The Shining? I can't even come up with word. This movie was so important to me when I was growing up. Like, it was everywhere, dude. I watched this thing all the time. It's crazy. This was the first VHS off the record that I remember watching where it had the special features before the movie. I was like, why do I got to watch 40 minutes of Jack Nicholson laughing and having fun? I want like the scary stuff. Awesome book, but the movie, I think that this is what Stanley Kubrick wanted it to look like, dude. He had a different vision than what Steven did, and I think that he probably did it better, and I think that's why there's so much hostility all these years, like an axe to grind still. But Jack Nicholson, the greatest actor of all time, one of the greatest horror icon villains of all time. I mean, who am I? Fucking The Shining, dude.
Shining.
10 out of 10.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Shining. Jack Nicholson, hands down, my favorite actor of all time. Love him. Part of the reason is The Shining. I remember getting bits and pieces of The Shining growing up. I didn't watch it all the way through. It was more like I got, bits of the end, him running through it, it's just like, yeah, I'm like, what am I watching here as a kid? Or, the twins all bloodied and murdered or the elevator. And then finally I probably after high school, I watched the movie, fell in love with it. Just, again, another movie of watching Stephen King, one of his characters, just the descent into madness. Read the book. Perfect. Also about 10 years ago. Yes, it's different than the movie, but that's adaptation. It's just a different interpretation. I like them both, love them both, I should say, for what they are separately. Yeah, I don't know. That's I guess that's all I got to say about that.
I'm one of those nerds where my wife, so she's into horror too, but she doesn't have the sickness like I do. But if we're gonna put on something and we put on The Shining, I will stop The Shining and I'll point out stupid facts and be like, you see how we're gonna go into the office here? Watch how the angle changed. No. Your point of reference is off, babe. Watch. And she gets so annoyed with me, man.
Nice.
I have you seen that Room 237 documentary? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick, man. The chick in the bathtub, the bear scene, the soda, all that. There's so many scenes in this movie when he's just walking down the hallway. I can't even. Perfect film.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I love it.
I can't touch it.
And a little I don't have it here. I do own it on Blu-ray, but Doctor Sleep is a good sequel. I was just gonna say that. And anyway. But let's see here, because I mostly have
So are you buying this Kool-Aid with these people saying that Doctor Sleep is better than the fucking Shining? You been hearing this shit?
I have never heard that. Who's been saying that?
Wrong. People that are wrong on YouTube. People that are incorrect.
Yeah. Okay.
People that are maybe 10 years younger or 20 years. I think it's a millennial. I mean, we're kind of in that age group, but
right.
Doctor Sleep is a great movie on its own, and I know that Stephen King backs it, but it is not better than The Shining. Shut the hell up. That is not the same thing.
Yeah.
Great movie, though.
Yeah. I think, because I read the book as well for Doctor Sleep, and I think the movie was a better adaptation than what's in the book, especially with how the original Shining ends. I mean, you've read it, right? I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you know how I almost said the apartment, the hotel explodes. So in Doctor Sleep, they go to this park where the original hotel used to stand, but the ghosts are still there, and it's just wait, it's not the hotel, it's just a park.
Kind of works.
Yeah. But I like the adaptation where it's just okay, it's just this abandoned old hotel now. So he kind of merges Kubrick with Stephen King's, and I don't know. I enjoyed it for what it was, but
Danny's got to
yeah.
There's no way it's better than The Shining.
Yeah,
it's cool to see how Danny has to kind of get over his alcoholism and muster up the strength to even go back there. His story, but it's got Mike Flanagan directing it, and he's the best thing working right now. So, I mean, that's a great film, and the director's cut's 3 hours, and it's great. that it's not a masterpiece. But it's, I love it. It's just not the same.
No, it's true.
Good book. Not The Shining.
Yeah. I agree. I concur. Let's see here. Okay. Well, I think I only got 2 more. At least here with me.
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah. I don't want to take any more of the good ones from you, and I feel like the last 2 are pretty good ones.
Dude, we've already covered it and The Shining, so you got it.
Yeah, but there's one we haven't covered that's a pretty big one. Anyway, so I'll leave that one for last and see if you get around to it before I do. But this one was another one. I think I was like aware that it was Stephen King. Well, simultaneously, I forgot that it was by Stephen King. So I know when it came out, I didn't like rush out to watch it by any means. And then like it was years later when somebody told me it was a Stephen King movie. And I was like, what? And then I immediately had to watch it, fell in love with it. Stars Tom Hanks, freaking.
Oh my gosh.
Just so good.
Is that Frank Darabont
movie.
Too?
Yes, also Frank Darabont.
Man.
Michael Clark
He's
Duncan.
The best. Oh, breaks my heart, man.
Yeah, and then I forget the name of the guard, but just that bully guard, that complete jackass the entire movie. Yeah.
Percy.
He's one of those characters that you just instantly hate, and you hate him, and it never goes away. You know what I mean? It's one of those movies where
his comeuppance comes.
Yeah. He's one of those characters where it's just kind of like, I can't wait for him to die, but he doesn't die. But and it's a tearjerker because the guy you don't want to die dies, and it's a bummer. And he's such a wholehearted character. Michael Clark Duncan's character, I forget that guy's name too. It's been a while since I've actually seen this movie.
Coffey. John Coffey.
Yeah,
John. Big John.
But I mean, again, well acted, so good, just heart-wrenching story. Mr. Jingles, also a tearjerker, but then he comes back to life. Thank you, Mr. Coffee. Love it. Love that movie.
Yeah, man, The Green Mile is something special, dude. That's another one that no matter what's going on, you put that thing on. The first 20 minutes where it's just the old guy kind of talking to the woman, it just like sets the scene for this story to just, man, it takes me to a place with that music. I'm in heaven. It just, man. Tom Hanks, heartbreaking movie, dude. It's got Gary Sinise. It's got such a good cast. I love the effects. That was the first time I hated that actor. Who's the Billy the Kid? What's his name? Oh, forget that actor's name.
Oh, Sam Rockwell? Is he
Sam Rockwell?
Guy?
Yeah, he's the bad dude.
Yeah.
Right movie.
Yeah. He's another interesting. I forgot he was in this movie. I was like, oh right when you started talking about it, I was like, oh right, I forgot about his character. Oh,
yeah, man. Percy's the bad dude, but Sam Rockwell, man, I hated him in that movie.
Oh wow, yeah.
Hated him. Yeah, it's been a long time. All right, well, we're going back to one of my favorite movies of all time, with one of my favorite horror villains of all time, Sleeper. This is Pet Sematary. This is another one that I can watch. Mary Lambert. I can watch this thing anytime, and I get something out of it every time. Especially, having kids now or knowing people with kids. Like that scene with Gage jacks me up. But Zelda is something special. Man. Something special. I'm telling you, pure nightmare fuel. And then when I read that book, it was such a scary novel. Like I could not believe how he was getting into my psyche with the graveyard and the Wendigo and how horrible the family was treating the Rachel. Dude, effects perfect. And then forever, I just thought, don't want to go down that road. I mean, perfect casting. Love this film. Fred Gwynn. I mean, this movie makes me comfortable. I've watched it so many times, probably like 300 times, man. I watch anytime. Like, yeah, put it on. I need to be like a little bit uncomfortable, and I want to have a great time. Pet Sematary.
That's what's
your story? You like it?
Yeah, oh yeah, got it right here as well.
Oh, look at that cover.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Pascal.
classic cover. This is another one that I grew up watching like bits and pieces of, but never saw the full thing. I actually think your brother made me watch the full thing when I told him I hadn't seen it all the way through back in Pendleton, back in the day.
Oh,
You
man.
know, 2003, 2004. He was probably like, "What? You've never seen Pet Cemetery?" Then he made.
I
me
mean,
watch it.
he's 5 years younger, so he absorbed that through osmosis. Like my fear could come through the door probably, because that film scared me to death when I was a kid. And then I bought the book and just. So you watched it pretty young though too. Sorry, I cut you off. I can talk about Pet Cemetery.
You're good. You're good. No, it's another one also that I've been meaning to read the book. But this movie's great. The little kid, Gage. Once he comes back, he's a vicious little beast. That's for sure. So is that cat? What's the cat's name?
Church.
Yes. Churchill. Yeah, that cat is ferocious. Yeah, I do like the lore. I know, again, I haven't read the books, but I like the notion of just a like Indian burial ground and how you see it, at least how it's portrayed in the movie. It's like on top of this like cliff thing and
burial ground.
Yeah, all the landscape around it. It's just dark and cloudy, and it's just like they're in the same area, right? Like how far is the hike away?
Alone.
Yeah.
But there's crazy colors coming through the trees.
Yeah, so that bit always like kind of mesmerized me. I just always remember the trek up there, and then when they get up there, it's just kind of like, where are they right now? But yeah, I just like the lore behind of like, oh yeah, this is ancient burial ground. I brought back my brother. We shouldn't have brought him back, but I'm showing it to you to warn you. And it's like, sure you are.
That is a perfect film. I think that like there's that scene with the funeral where it's so grief stricken where they go in there and Lewis has to kind of like just sit in that moment where his kid just got smashed to pieces. The Ramones are playing, everything was going great. And then the dad that doesn't like him at all attacks him and the coffin opens up and everyone's just shocked.
Yeah.
It's so painful to watch, dude. I feel like Pet Cemetery is like, I'm 15 little vignettes where it's like something bad happens and it continues to escalate every 5 minutes until you can't take it anymore. And then the Ramones come back on like, oh my God, that was an experience, dude.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I love that movie as well. I feel like a handful of them I was kind of like born with, or I shouldn't say born with, raised watching it, The Stand, a little bit of obviously Rose Red, but I don't have Rose Red. I don't know why I've seen it so many times that I'm like, I'll come around and get it. But I see Rose Red everywhere. Maybe it's like one of those, dime a dozen ones where it's like, oh, I'll get around to collecting that one because I see it so often. But
yeah, it was everywhere in the 2000s, right? Like it was everywhere.
Yeah.
I've got it on DVD, but it needs a better version because that's one that I think that could be. Give that to Mike Flanagan. That would be an awesome little mini series, kind of like Haunting a Hill House. That would be great.
Yeah. Stand By Me was another, I should say, like honorable mention. I grew up watching that. I have it on VHS. It's just not up here.
10 out of 10.
Stuff. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Hands down, love that movie. Another one I grew up kind of watching was Storm of the Century. I watched that as it was coming out on TV.
Incredible,
another
dude.
Good one. Yeah.
That is another sick day movie where I would just watch that for 4 hours, curled up on the couch. Like this miniseries is freaky, dude.
Yeah.
Born in Sin, come on in. So good. Love it, dude.
Yeah.
God damn, I love that movie.
But yeah, that's all I got up here. I mean, there's obviously plenty of other movies Stephen King movies we can yap about.
I've got, I brought Firestarter to the party.
Nice.
This is a film that feels like John Carpenter should have made it. There's a story behind all of that. I brought Cujo to the party. I've got it on 4K too, and then I don't know. Up here. Oh, I brought Cat's Eye. I really like this this UK color, UK 4K release, but Cat's Eye's pretty fun. I didn't really actually watch this though until like the mid 90s because I always thought it was just going to be some cheesy Drew Barrymore movie. Like the cover didn't look that cool. And I was like, there's a troll in Cat's Eye? What's going on with this film? But that story, Quitters Inc., is in one of my favorite books. I think it's called Night Shift. It's got Quitters Inc. is one of my favorite little Stephen King shorts next to The Boogeyman. Incredible. Cat's Eye's great. I was just late to the party.
Yeah. Something came to mind and I completely forgot about it. You showed me Cat's Eye and my brain just went, oh, Cat's Eye. I forgot what I was going to talk about. I don't remember. Maybe it'll come around to me. But yeah, there's just so many good. For me, I wish they would make a proper Dark Tower 7 movie.
Yeah.
Instead of that crappy Dark Tower that they released.
We really deserve it.
Yeah, that movie was rough.
That was not good.
And I wanted to like it so bad. It was just like,
I
love the Dark Tower. Dark Tower is freaking an epic Stephen King story.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I forgot to bring out here was Needful Things.
Ooh, Needful
that
Things,
is another that I just... Ed Harris, Bonnie Bedelia, Max von Sydow from The Exorcist. That movie is so good. That little Kino 4K looks incredible. It's got the unrated. It's got the TV cut. So good, man. I love that one. And then I forgot to bring At Pupil out here. Have you seen At Pupil?
I actually have not seen At Pupil.
Oh, you got to watch that one.
Yeah.
Brad Renfro. It's got Gandalf, you know?
Yeah, Ian McKellen. Yeah.
I believe it's in different seasons.
Okay.
With The Body and Rita Hayworth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, At Pupil, you'd like it. Jason Schwimmer from Friends, is that the right dude? He's in that too.
Nice, okay. Yeah.
At Pupil's great. Brutal movie.
Right. I mean, yeah. I'm aware of what it is about, just never seen it.
Check that one out. 1408, you a fan of that one?
1408, yeah. I actually just recently, God, I'm trying to remember when I watched it, but I rewatched it. Not during October, but a couple months back. Yeah, I like that one as well. Super good. What's his face? John Cusack.
Dude, he's so good in that.
Yeah.
Sam Jackson.
Sammy J.
That's my favorite Stephen King short story. I'm going to say that like 10 times. 1408 from Everything's Eventual. I love that story. Freaks me out so bad. I like to listen to it on Audible when I just need a scare. I'll just put it on like 0.09 speed so that Stephen King reading it slows down. It gets into my bones, dude.
Ooh, okay.
If you have Spotify, you can listen to him read his own story. And it's like maybe 90 minutes, but if you slow it down, you might get 100 minutes of Stephen King. It's the best.
Yeah. As I say, another honorable mention, and it's another one I just recently watched, maybe a couple years back. And it was the one that I said I forgot, The Dark Half. I haven't.
Oh, good.
I hadn't seen that movie before until a couple years ago. Never read the book, but when I watched it, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, why was I skimping on this movie? It's actually really, the ending's kind of cheesy.
It's pretty good.
The birds CGI or whatever visual effects doesn't hold up, but doesn't mean that everything up to that point wasn't good. Great story. I don't know, like kind of like a split personality aspect, but not because it's like a evil twin entity thing. I don't know that he created through his own writing. It's like, what? Loved it though.
Yeah, I always got that one confused with the Dead Zone when I was a little kid because they would show it on Monster Vision and I'd always catch parts of one or the other, and they have kind of the same tone, you know. So I got them confused when I was little. But you like Dolores Claiborne?
I've never seen Dolores. No, I have not seen that one either.
Kathy Bates, man.
I know.
It's really good. Feels like it could be a Frank Darabont. Anything Stephen King, though, for the most part. People are probably upset we're not talking about Sleepwalkers.
Oh, I know. I was about to bring it up, but you just did. Because I watched that movie, I think, last year for October. Yeah, that was a trip.
It's a trip. It's that Mick Garris too, I think.
Yeah. But it's a good flick. It's fun for what it is. It's just a trip. I just remember watching it. Like, I do not remember because I saw it in theaters with my dad and my brother, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
That's awesome.
because my dad, or I guess maybe that might have been my first Stephen King movie. I just didn't
That's kind of
remember
a
it.
sultry film. That's kind of sultry, right?
Yeah,
A little there's a little bit of sexuality in that movie.
there is. Yes,
It's
especially with
kind of perverted.
mother and son. It's like, what is
Yes.
happening here?
Yes.
Yeah.
That living room scene. Man,
Yeah.
Sleepwalkers, dude.
Was it like a pencil through the cop's neck? Isn't that what it is? I don't know. There's a moment where
Yeah.
that cop gets it pretty bad.
Change to the bam.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, and then the cats at the end, and that's probably the first time I was just like, yes, we need more felines in our lives because they'll save the day.
That was the first time I was like, I think I need to try hallucinogenics to understand this film. Like,
Oh my god.
maybe some magic mushies would help because it's such a trip. I was like, what is going on with this movie, dude?
Yeah.
Mick Garris, man, that's an out there flick.
Yeah.
And then you got Maximum Overdrive, great soundtrack. The Running Man with Schwarzenegger and
Running Man.
Jesse the
of
Body
course.
Ventura. I love Running Man. Didn't bring that one out here either. I got a little cheat thing pulled up. Lawnmower Man. We forgot about the Lawnmower Man.
Lawnmower Man, yeah.
Great movie.
Can't remember the last time I saw that movie. I need to rewatch it. I know I've seen it. It's just been such a long time.
Yeah. Great cover. 1992. So good.
I was just saying.
I was never.
Go. Sorry.
You're good.
No, I was
do you
just gonna say. Oh, I was just gonna say. I know I don't think there's any physical copies of it. If there is, I haven't seen them yet. But from Max or HBO, The Outsiders is a pretty good.
Oh yeah, the little
limited
TV
series.
show.
Yeah, I like
Isn't
that.
Tim Robbins in the first? No, not Jason Bateman's in the beginning,
Jason
right?
Bateman,
First
yeah.
couple. That's a great little miniseries, dude.
Oh yeah.
Great reminder. I should rewatch that.
Yeah, I rewatched it last year, and I was just like, I forgot how good this was. It's so good. Plus, I like the notion of the creature that's in it is pretty much an emotional vampire. It sucks off the despair of everyone around him and just milks it dry. It's crazy.
It's brutal. There's a lot of heavy content in that one.
Yeah.
What else was on it? Someone's screaming about Children of the Corn. We have not talked about Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn. Linda Hamilton.
She was better in those movies back in the day. I really
Yeah.
liked her in that movie. Just the cover was so iconic to Children of the Corn. I feel bad for not having that out here.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised I don't own that movie yet. I'm like, how do I not own Children of the Corn?
Yeah,
I think
there's a couple of good
DVD
sequels
of it.
too.
I haven't seen any of the sequels. I don't know.
Part
Mostly
3 is
'cause-
great.
Okay. I know there's one with David Carradine. I think it's like 4 or 5 or something like that.
The first couple are fine. 3 is actually kind of a sleeper pick, but it's a deeper cut.
Okay.
Kind of like Quicksilver Highway. Used to have that on tape. I don't have it anymore. That's another like Stephen King kind of 1997 made for TV jam. It's all right.
I don't even know what that is. I feel like I've
Yeah.
never heard of that one.
It's fine. He wrote some of it. Did you watch the Netflix Gerald's Game?
Oh, I started it and then never finished it.
Good man, Mike
I
Flanagan.
heard it's good. I know. I hear it's great.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's
And
great.
it wasn't. I didn't stop watching it because I wasn't interested in it by any means. I started with somebody, and then we ended up going and doing something else. And then I just never circled around to it. Yeah, but I did see what In the Tall Grass. Didn't his son write that one?
Yeah, I think he did. That's
one
pretty
was
fun.
Too bad. Yeah, that was a creepy one.
And then 1922, another Netflix original. It's got
I didn't see that one.
the dude from The Mist. I
Thomas
watched that
Jane.
one. Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
Incredible. I actually love that movie. My wife loves that. But it's so Stephen King, dude. It's heavy.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. It's always streaming on Netflix. Tales from the Dark Side. Probably should have brought that up too. He'd written. Tales from the Dark Side's a 10. I got the little cheat code up here pulled up.
I know.
Ones we
I got
can
no
talk
cheat
about.
codes. 0 cheat codes here.
That's what I'm here for, man. I got you.
Nice.
Sometimes they come back.
Ooh,
Great
sometimes they
cover.
come back. Yeah.
Something's come back again, Bernie.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them. Yeah. I remember being creeped out by that movie as a kid because I think I saw it. And then I rewatched it not too long ago, a couple years back, and I was like, not as good or creepy as I remember it being. Yeah.
Nope. Doesn't
mean
really
I don't
hold
like
up
it.
on the.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up too much, but it doesn't mean I hate it.
In the early 90s, I liked it, but it's hard to go back to. Kind of like The Night Flyer, you know? It's fine. Or what's another one like that? With is it The Mangler with Robert Englund?
Yeah.
It was all
I
right.
seen that one. I remember seeing the VHS cover of that, but I've never actually watched it.
It was everywhere, but yeah, it's forgettable. We covered a ton.
Yeah, we went over quite a bit. Yeah.
We're not talking about Carrie or any of those remakes, or The Rage Carrie 2, whatever that thing is.
Oh god.
Not a fan.
I think I saw that movie when it came out in theaters, and this was before I think I completely understood like what a good movie was and what was a bad movie. But when I watched that movie, I was like, this is not good. That movie and Batman and Robin, I think, were like the movies that clicked in my brain, was like, this is not that good, like, at all. So,
have you ever been the guy in the movie theater that like decides to get up and leave and go complain to management?
No,
I've never been that guy.
No.
But even when you watch a shitty movie, like I've seen people go up to, I'm just trying to get a popcorn and a pale ale, man, and the people are like, the movie's disgusting or the timing's wrong, it's too loud. If you're complaining about the movie, just don't go to the movies. Like, that's the whole point. It's an experience. You ruin it for the rest of us. Stay home.
Yeah. No. I think the only time I ever graciously bowed out of a movie was in high school because I got sick with food poisoning. So
that's
here
a
I am.
horrible time.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm trying to remember the movie. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we went and saw Soul Survivors. And you
didn't miss much, dude.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because I remember watching it and kind of having one of those moments where I was like, this is not that good. And then I got sick, like, I don't know, half hour into the movie. I was in the bathroom for like 20 minutes, sweating bullets, food poisoning. So it was coming out of both ends. I don't need to go too much into it. But then I remember going back to my girlfriend. She was just like, what took you so long? And I was like, I am not feeling good. And I just laid on the seats, put my head on her lap, and fell asleep.
People are like, do you want to watch Soul Survivors? Like, absolutely not. No,
never.
Shit, yeah, I will not. Oh, there's a part 2. I'm good. The sequel.
Yeah. Right. I'll stay.
Yeah, I was watching a movie I went to see something, and someone like came out and they complained about it being too loud, and I could hear like maybe Wolverine, Deadpool coming through my movie because we went to watch Longlegs, and Longlegs is kind of quiet for part of it. So I'm not going to get up and go complain to management. Just fuck off,
That's funny. During Smile 2, I heard in the theater next to us freaking Art's horn going off from Terrifier 3. I was just like, am I hearing like a horn going off? And then I realized I was like, oh, that's Terrifier 3 next door. Okay. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Fernie. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever left your theater to go watch something else because you made a poor decision? Like the better movie was playing next door and you were kind of back and forth on what you should be watching.
No, I usually don't buy a ticket for a movie I'm not going to see. So I usually go into the theater knowing what I want to watch, and I'm willing to sit.
He's a better person than me, folks. He's a better person than me. I have left a movie. I have left a movie to go watch something else because it was that bad. I don't remember what it was now.
I mean, I literally, back in high school, because I think it came out in 2003. It was either right after I graduated or just before. Saw Ben Affleck and J-Lo in fucking
Jiggly.
Yeah, and I sat through it and I watched all of it.
Burn.
And again, I was with I was with that same girlfriend. She wanted to watch it, so I was like, you know what? I'm a Ben Affleck fan. You know this. I've talked to you about it. So I was like, let's go check out this movie.
Is that Kevin Smith too? Oh,
no,
Kevin.
it's not. It's not Kevin Smith. No.
Oh, okay. What was the one he put out?
Jersey Girl was right after that. Again, I sat through that movie as well, and that was
someone's pounding their laptop. It's Jersey Girl, you son of a bitch! It's losing their mind.
Exactly.
Jiggly is not the same.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Don't you compare Geely to Jersey Girl?
That's it. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm taking all three of my watches. We're going.
Right. Yeah. Thumbs down.
Man.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's fun, dude. That's kind of what I wanted the podcast to be, was just two dudes kind of just talking shit. Maybe we'll have a little bit of a plot or a map where we want to go, but I always think it's better to get into the nitty gritty and actually have conversations and just see what comes out organically than, we got to talk about why Thinner from 1996 is a perfect movie and everybody should watch. Like, what's your experiences with it? That's way more interesting to me.
Yeah, I dig on it.
Did you put ketchup on? Did you get fries at the theater and did you put ketchup on them, or did you settle for something else? Right? I'd rather hear that than people wax poetic about Thinner, even though I love Thinner.
Yeah.
It's late. If you're on the East Coast right now, it is 4:15, 4:20 in the morning. Hey-o.
I know. I was looking at that too. I was like, oh, 1:20. Oh boy.
We were like, let's just go live. We'll see if anybody watches it. We'll talk about Stephen King for an hour and then we'll peace out. But that's what we've done. What are you watching tomorrow?
Oh, that's a good question. I believe it's a movie you let me borrow. One of the nasty ones. Silo.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is not a feature family film.
Definitely not. That's why I said it's one of the nasty ones. I only know what you told me
man.
read on the back of the box, so that's
I'm sorry.
On deck tomorrow probably. And I'll probably squeeze in a little Cujo in the afternoon or something.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need Cujo.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna probably think that Salo is filmed beautifully. You're gonna use your filmmaker brain and kind of enjoy the shots, enjoy the scope and the landscape, but then you're gonna be like, why am I watching this? Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Fair enough. No.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, he watched the night before a Serbian film. Martyrs before.
Martyrs, not too shabby.
Cannibal.
I like Martyrs.
Cannibal from 2006. He's been through the ringer. You're going Cannibal, Martyrs, a Serbian film, and I don't think you can have a better four-piece right there. That is straight down the rabbit hole to hell. That is horrible.
Yeah, I had a friend. I was telling him about the movies I was watching, and he was like, "Whoa, you're going hard this October, aren't you?" I was just like, "Am I?"
Oh man, I'm sorry. So I went on that last live stream this week, and some of the movies I was talking about, I was like, "Oh, nobody. I don't think people like these kind of movies." But I got that. The dark recesses of your mind. I want to see what's in there sometimes, and once you go hard, you just kind of like, oh yeah, it's not so bad. You get used to it.
Yeah, you do.
Salo's going to be uncomfortable.
Okay. Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
I'm here for it though. I'm here. I took it out of your hands.
It's a Criterion cut, right? It's not like we're just making this up.
Yeah, it's Criterion, so it has to be good, right? They don't put shitty movies in Criterion. It's a masterpiece.
No, it's not.
It's a
masterpiece. You're going to feel some sort of way. There's nothing horrific about that movie, but it's a horror movie for sure. So,
okay. I'll find out tomorrow.
I'm excited to get your take on that the following week.
What are you watching?
So anyway, folks, what am I watching?
Yeah, sorry. I'm like, let's push it.
Oh no, you're good. So I try to fit 2 movies in a day at least, and sometimes I shoot for 3, but I'm a little behind right now. I'm probably like, I don't know. I probably watched 45 movies this month, so not terrible. But I started The Exorcist and Terrifier 3, and I'm going to finish that tonight. But I'm going to restart The Exorcist because I paused it with 20 minutes. I was like cooking something on the smoker outside, and then once you have to stop a movie, I got to start it. The Exorcist. It's the greatest of all time. So I'm going to probably do The Exorcist. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited though. It's been a pretty good month.
Solid choice.
Because you're watching things, I'm kind of absorbing, like rewatching some of those things with you. It's been pretty fun.
Nice.
I don't recommend them to people, but once you do it, it's not so bad.
Yeah. So yeah, not some parts aren't so bad. Some parts are that bad.
Some parts are.
Yeah.
We're gonna do an effed up episode soon where we're gonna go way down the rabbit hole, and we'll discuss these in greater detail, because in podcast form you kind of can. When you're trying to show clips and stills on YouTube, they do not like it, but we can just wax poetic about it for a while. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I should probably let you get out of here. If you've been enjoying this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, talk some crap down there, whatever you want to do. If you want to see more from us, leave a comment. We're going to try to come back here soon, and we're going to have an actual plan. We're going to we'll give you a few more days notice instead of just, oh yeah, we're going live in a half hour. Sometimes you got to live like, you gotta live.
Yeah. You gotta be spontaneous with it.
Yeah. We don't know what we're doing. We're just making this shit up, folks. So
it's true. Yeah.
Until next time, take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.
Cheers.